Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot, where today we're going to be talking about the 2, 3, and 4 of Cups, the Minor Arcana cards connected to the zodiac sign of Cancer. Now the 2 right here is that first deacon that we meet. It's actually, as I'm making this video, that's exactly where we are. This is about random average June 21st to the end of June. I don't remember if there's 30 or 31 days. I never remember that. I mean, as I learned as a kid, you go through your fingers and it's up and down, but it just never stuck with me. It doesn't really matter, right? Now the third 3 of Cups, that is July 1st to July 10th. This card is the one that represents the 4th of July for those of us in America. That's our day of freedom. That is Independence Day. And if this year, 2026, it's 250 years. So talk about celebrating. Talk about toasting our cups. In the great scheme of things, that's not really that long. I know that. But, that's all about celebration. And that's what that card represents, despite the fact that there's pumpkins. And that's not really till September. But this card is definitely that first 10 days of July, and it's such a magical time. And then we move from that happy, joyful, celebrating energy to the card of boredom that represents July 11th to about July 20th, before Leo season begins. Now this card, it's one of my favorites actually. It's so funny when I do readings and it comes up and it's like, this is you, right? You're bored, you're uninterested, and look what's waiting. Yes, so we're going to talk about all 3 of these, and I'm going to show you 2 different other illustrations that I love. And yes, I'll let you in now. Of course, they're Patrick Valencia's. Of course, they're Deviant Moon energies, because those are some of my favorite illustrations of all time. They're so much fun. But let's focus on the Rider-Waite-Smith right now, to be exact. The Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot, which is some of the most beautifully illustrated recreations of Pamela Coleman Smith and Arthur Edward Waite's illustrations that we still have and love today, all the way back from 1909. So these cards, this first one right here, emotionally fulfilling partnerships. They're both toasting their cups. There's that medicine symbol going up and everything because they found each other. They've connected. And that is one of the cards that people love, love, love to see when they're looking for a romantic reading. But this does not have to be a romantic partnership. I say emotionally fulfilling, which the first thing you think of is the love between 2 people. But that's just one aspect of it. This card represents finding somebody that we connect with, a business idea perhaps. The 2 people love the same idea and they go together. Those cups can be, hey, we're going to toast our cups together because we both love this idea that we can grow and we can be better at it together. Of course, that 2 at the top reminds us that this is the High Priestess of the Major Arcana. So it also reminds us, and it's my favorite quote of all time, I'm obsessed with RuPaul's Drag Race. That's like my favorite show on television. At the end of that show, they always, always, always say at the very end, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell do you expect to love somebody else? So that 2, kindness, compassion, empathy, thought process, choices, balance, and intuition, it all reminds us the more we love the person looking back at us in the mirror, the more we appreciate ourselves, the more fulfilling our lives can be. You love yourself, the people that deserve to love you, the people that love you for you are going to love you as well. So that kindness, compassion, empathy, and everything that the Cancer energy has, the mother of the zodiac, tells us and reminds us to love ourselves too. That energy that we have, that love that we have for ourselves, when we love ourselves, we find more love in our lives. Now, even the colors of their outfits kind of shows energy there, like shows connection. Her outfit very much relates to that High Priestess we see in the Major Arcana sequence as she sits between the 2 pillars and takes that time to look within. His outfit, it's reminding me of a page. I mean, I've got it pulled that out of the top of my head. So we could go through the Rider-Waite-Smith and we could look at it and find that similar outfit, but it just reminds me of like the Page of Wands. That energy, he's even got like the brown shoes. He's grounded, he's focused, and he's got that light about him. You could even have his energy as the Fool almost, the Major Arcana. There's 2 opposite energies, the sitting there thinking and the action, passion coming together there. And as June, moves into July, summer for those in the those of us in the northern hemisphere, that is when we really, a lot of us really, really come alive and really start focusing on what we love. For example, me, I love, love, love festival season. It's my favorite season of all time. You know, when I take my cards out, when I set up my canopy and I sit there in wherever I am and do readings for people, reading after reading after reading, I love it. I love that connection. And this summer, that is when we really can focus on that. So as summer begins, that June 21st, June 20th, 21st to the end of June 30, 31. I mean, I have a calendar, but I've got it like blocked with my sign right now. So I'm not going to guess. Like I'd say, 30 days, good enough. But that energy there, as summer begins for us, as June starts taking off and turning into July, we have much, much, much to celebrate and appreciate. Perhaps that's why this Three of Cups that follows, July 1st to July 10th, like I said, 4th of July, Independence Day, that area, that we have all that to celebrate. We're toasting our cups. We follow that too with that 3. 3 is the number of creativity and creation itself. And we found that person or found that love for ourselves so we could begin creating something worth celebrating. This is such a fun energy and a fun card as these 3 maidens, toast their cups. They found that joy. They have found that happiness. And it's a lot about partying. Like this is the card I think most connects to partying. And this time of year, personally, I think it's the best time to party. I'm so honestly jealous of people that have their birthdays this time of year. For example, my best friend in the entire world, her birthday is July 3rd, so this is very much her Minor Arcana card. Hi Liz, I love you, happy birthday. But that energy there, that 3 of Cups, she has that joy, she has that happiness, and she can go jump in a lake and celebrate outside for her birthday. So yes, as somebody that's born in December where it's really cold and wintry, not quite winter yet, but close enough, I don't really have that luxury because I don't like being cold. But anywho, that 3 of Cups that follows the 2 of Cups in the July 1st to July 10th, so much worth celebrating. And the more we connect with those people, the more we love ourselves and find the people that love us, the more we will have to celebrate. And that 3, again, creativity and creation itself reminds us, when we're in that right mindset, when we're positive, when we're happy, when we're fulfilled and feeling love in our hearts, then we can focus on creating the lives we love and enjoy and have even more worth to celebrate. Now, like I said at the beginning, we clearly see like pumpkins and stuff down at the bottom, which relates it a lot to Virgo energy because, that's when summer's coming to an end, when we're focusing on, harvest, that kind of thing. And that's definitely reminds me of a successful harvest, and that's why they're celebrating. But it doesn't matter what time of year it is. It doesn't matter if the sun is shining or it's gloomy or rainy. This card reminds us that there is much to appreciate and much to celebrate, just as that 2 did. Now, as we move from July 1st to July 10th and move to the July 11th to July 20th, maybe life isn't all that fun anymore. The tree is still blooming, it's still green, the sun is still shining, and the sky is still blue. But this dude looks bored, uninterested. And that's why I call this the card of boredom, or the boredom card, because he doesn't care that there's this potential, this new idea, this Ace of Cups as I like to see it, because he's been there, done that, and tired of it. Now that 4 that follows that 3, who followed the 2, is the number of the Emperor, the Major Arcana, and a strong foundation. And I always like to point out with the boredom card of tarot, despite the fact that we're bored and uninterested, we must focus on that strong foundation we have in our lives. Think about it. If you don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel safe where you are, and you don't feel like you have a nice foundation around you, then you're going to be more worried than you are bored, right? So that energy of that boredom card, when we take that time to actually appreciate where we are and all the things we may have created that are no longer there, that we've been there and done that, when we focus on appreciating where we are and the strong foundation we have, we can look up and see the potential of that Ace of Cups right there. Once we see ourselves as that strong foundation, when we let that love and happiness and fulfillment fill our hearts with joy, we can start focusing on something new. We can start focusing on filling that new cup up with something else because we're strong enough to achieve it. So such a positive energy actually flows through the month of June 20th to July 20th, that Cancer season, that mother of the zodiac, mothers, you're so focused on everybody around you, so much love in your hearts for those people in your lives that you care about. But again, care about yourself too, because I tell people this all the time. You deserve to be happy too. You find that happiness and joy in your life. You begin creating the happiness and joy that you deserve and having much to celebrate. And even when you're bored and uninterested, that strong foundation that you have managed to love and create with your own heart and your own ideas and your own dreams can absolutely help you focus on something new, to begin focusing on something that you love even more. And we can can make the whole sequence happen again. So that is the Rider-Waite-Smith version of the 2, 3, and 4 of Cups. But as I said, you know me, I've told this so many times. There is no artist in the world that I love more than Patrick Valencia and Deviant Moon Tarot. Let's just take a look at the Deviant Moon Tarot, for example. The 2, the 3, and the 4 of Cups. Now, come on. How cool are these illustrations? This artwork and everything. This 2 of Cups there, that skeleton with his robe and everything on. He looks like he was an emperor in a past life, or the life that he just lived, because he's obviously a skeleton. So maybe life has ended, but that hasn't stopped him from following his heart in the here and now. And this woman, you can see there, she's got her hand on her stomach. Is she pregnant with new life? Is she going to be a mother? Only time will tell. But they're toasting their cups. They found a connection together. Even if they're 2 different types of people, 2 different colors, one's dead and one's alive, there's something new that they can create together. He's even got his like mummy wrapped leg wrapped around her ankle, showing that connection that they have together. So, you know, just like that 2 of Cups right there with the Rider-Waite-Smith, you have that energy, that connection, and that's what the 2 of Cups is all about. Emotionally fulfilling connections. And again, the best one we can have in our lives, despite the fact that you rarely, if ever, see the 2 of Cups without 2 individuals on it, you know, that still tells us we have that same connection with ourselves when we love and appreciate who we are. Now we move to the 3 of Cups here, and this, hands down, one of my favorite illustrations of the 3 of Cups, because come on, how freaking awesome is this card? They're having fun. They're celebrating. The thief from perhaps the 7 of Swords. The Emperor right there with his hat. The Pope showing, you know, they're all from different places. I believe that is the star from the Major Arcana sequence in the Deviant Moon Tarot. And they're all celebrating together. They're being weird. They're being proud. They love one another because they have this connection together. And even if they came from many different aspects of life, they want to be with each other. And they're in a little threatening situation, obviously, because that's a very sharp-toothed fish in that ocean of emotion as it comes up and it threatens to eat them. But it doesn't matter. They're having fun. They're being silly. They're enjoying their time together. And that 3 shows the potential of creativity and creation itself when they trust themselves and they work together. They're similar illustration there with the Rider-Waite-Smith, but come on, how much more fun is this one? It even tells us, you know, life is dangerous. There's obstacles all the time around us. No matter what we do, no matter where we are, there's always a chance that we're going to be in some kind of negative situation. But this card reminds us that life is better with friends. You know, have fun, enjoy life while we were here. We cannot promise that the future is going to be great, but if we focus on that happiness and joy, and we just be our silly, wonderful selves and share that light and that love within with the people that we meet, we can connect, we can celebrate, we all have much to celebrate, and we can focus on creating a better future for all of us. I love this illustration so much. It's so adorable, like just fun, and it just reminds us that sharp-toothed fish could bring us down at any time if you feel like going in the ocean, but it doesn't have to hold us back. You know, focus on happiness, focus on joy, focus on celebrating the fact that we're here and connecting with the people that we love and appreciate, and then we won't feel so bored and uninterested, right? There is the 4 of Cups, and again, like the Rider-Waite-Smith illustration of this card, dude or chica, I don't know which one it is bored, is uninterested, and is like, I don't even care about this cup now. Now, the difference between this card, this illustration, and the 4 of Cups right here, this one is being offered to us from the powers that be, from the nethers, from the, you know, intangible ideas until we take them and make them tangible, just like that ace coming from the cloud. But this illustration doesn't have that. Those 3 cups set up right there, those are the things that this character has created in the past. The things that brought him joy. The things that perhaps gave him that strong foundation that he has today. But that new potential, that new idea, he's just tossing it away. He's not interested anymore. He's focused on, feeling bored and uninterested. There's that ship. He might even want to follow that ship. I'm getting 2 of Wands energy with that. Should you stay or should you go? Are you bored in your strong foundation? If he's just going to toss that away, or she, again, I just say he's so much easier to say than she. I'm really bad about that. But anywho, that 4, that strong foundation, are they uninterested in following that? And that's how they're throwing it away. But there's so much potential here when you see that strong foundation. And what I really, really like about this illustration, I'm going to pull it closer, is that right there. That key and all those creations of the past, that strong foundation that we have today is the key to making our lives more fulfilling, to take that idea and run with it. So despite the fact that these are weird and funky illustrations, who doesn't like weird and funky, right? If you love me, like you watch my videos, I'm obsessed with Deviant Moon Tarot. It's my favorite thing ever. But that 2, 3, and 4, they're weird. They remind us it's okay to be weird. You find, you love that weird soul that you are. You find the other weird souls that life is worth celebrating with. You create something better, perhaps an even stronger foundation that doesn't feel as bored and uninterested. So that is Patrick Valencia's beloved Deviant Moon Tarot. And of course, that's not the only deck he made. He's so talented. Here is the 2, 3, and 4 of Cups from the Trionfi Della Luna with illustrated pips. This deck, if you love his work and you don't have this deck yet, it's mass market at this point, so you can absolutely buy it anywhere decks are sold, and boy, is it awesome and worth it. It used to be when I had my, I do my readings, and I've told you before that I have like 3 decks sitting on the table to choose from. It started out, it was always that deck on the table. But since for a while now, I've actually switched to this deck, and the Deviant Moon Tarot actually sit on this side, and I use it with my tarot coins, so everybody still gets the Deviant Moon experience without actually getting a reading with just the Deviant Moon Tarot. I just figured I'd share that. But anywho, 2 of Cups we have right there. 1 foot is in the water, the other 3 are not. They find that connection together. They have that strong connection, that emotionally fulfilling partnership, so they can focus on what fulfills them, what they want to do, what they want to achieve. And I just noticed, she's obviously got her hand right there on her stomach, which suggests new life being created. But here, they're holding their cups, they're toasting, and look how big her belly is. So she's likely very much, creating new life in this process, and the moon is shining down on them, and it kind of like shows you too. The moon is the planet, I always say planet, but the moon is the sphere in the sky, let's call it that, that is most connected to Cancer. And the moon is our emotions, it's our subconscious. It's, taking the time to delve into that ocean of emotion and trusting our intuition, which comes back to that too, being more than just an emotionally fulfilling external partnership. It's an emotionally fulfilling partnership we have with our own higher selves, trusting our intuitions. And the more we trust our intuitions, the more we can create happy, joyful lives. The 2nd decan of Cancer, that 3 of Cups, this deck illustration, I love it. This is like my favorite illustration in this deck because it's so weird, it's so fun. And he must have enjoyed it too, because look at the back of that box. It's right there too, because it's fun. It's funny too, with the fire coming out of her butt and everything, and they're all weird looking, but it doesn't matter. They enjoy one another. They're having fun. They're celebrating. And July 1st to July 10th is about celebrating. It's about enjoying. It's about, finding those people that we just connect with and celebrating with them and having fun and partying. That's exactly what these people are doing, right? And they don't care if she's breathing fire out of her butt. They don't care if her fart stink or whatever. They're focused on enjoying one another's company and celebrating together. 3, creativity and creation itself reminds us that we can create absolutely anything when we trust our intuitions. And it's so much easier to focus on creating fulfilled, enjoyable lives when we have that connection with somebody else to focus on creating it. So there's so much to celebrate right now, so much to appreciate in life. So I think the 2, 3, and 4 of Cups connecting to the energy of Cancer, the mother of the zodiac, the cardinal water sign of the zodiac, says, have that strong connection with ourselves so we can meet the people that deserve to be with us, that love us for who we are, so we don't feel bored and uninterested, because we can't have the first and second decan of Cancer without that third decan too, July 10th or July 11th through July 20th, because there is that energy. He looks depressed, he looks sad, he's uninterested because he's created and perhaps it didn't work out. But there, instead of the cloud, wait, I have to go back and look. Instead of throwing it away, not interested in it, now we have a beautiful angel with wings flowing here, giving us this new potential and new idea. And when we trust our intuitions, when we trust in our ability to create, and we celebrate all of our differences and just love one another, then we have that strong foundation we need to focus on that new idea, that new emotionally fulfilling potential idea that can come to us. Again, like I said, the Four of Cups might be the boredom card, but the only way we can feel bored in life is if we have that strong foundation where we feel safe and comfortable. So the 2, 3, and 4 of Wands of Cancer season are extremely fulfilling, extremely enjoyable. Even that boredom card definitely suggests that we can have happy, joyful lives when we see ourselves and appreciate that strong foundation we already have. Again, Deviant Moon Tarot and Trionfi Della Luna illustrated pips. Absolutely gorgeous. But all of them, everything that we have today was likely inspired by the writer Waite Smith. I mean, I think obviously Patrick Valencia is more in love with the Marseille style tarot. There's nothing wrong with that because the Marseille style actually came before the writer Waite Smith, but that's beside the point. Every tarot deck shares a different energy, but the energy that is connected to them, the foundation of the tarot is all still the same. These connections, these energies here, the butt that is lighting fire, the people, the differences in that thing that comes back to these 3 millions because they're celebrating. They love their connection with each other. The boredom cards, they have these strong foundations. They're sitting there bored, but they're allowed to sit there. So instead of feeling bored, focus on what you can create, what potential idea you love, because you have the keys to making it happen. When you trust your intuition and have that strong partnership with yourself, you can find the ones that appreciate you too. Now, as always, any of these decks that you see in this video are absolutely available for a reading. All 3 of them, of course, are available for for purchase too if you don't have them and you want them. So there are the 3 boxes, so you can check them out. I'll put the link in the description for all 3 of them as well. As always, I really want to thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you find that happiness and joy no matter what time of year or where you live in the world, because you deserve to be happy. The more you trust your intuition, the more you can create and the stronger your foundation can be. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again in the next one.